everyone, and welcome back to Ride the Wave with Ocean Lombard. Hi, Madison. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. It's such an honor to sit down with a forever Miss America, especially with me competing for Miss America's team this August. You've been such a powerful example of strength, service, and opportunity. I'm so excited to learn more about you. So can you first start off by introducing yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Madison Marsh-Morris now. So I just got married a couple weekends ago. I am an active duty Air Force officer. I graduated from the Air Force Academy a couple years ago with a degree in physics. And then now I'm doing my first official tour, I guess you could say. And I'm currently stationed at Harvard getting my degree in public policy. And I graduate in next May. So not too long ago.
That's so amazing. So first I want to start off with All Miss America. Was there a moment, maybe big or quiet, when you first realized I want to compete in the Miss America organization?
Yes. So I didn't start competing in pageants until I think maybe my freshman year of college. And I had done a couple of other systems before. The year prior to me competing for Miss Colorado, I signed up to compete for Miss Colorado, actually, and then 2 weeks before I had to pull out of the competition because of a scholarship that I had won. It was basically a requirement that I had to go to the summer program, and it was during the dates of Miss Colorado week. So I pulled out, and then a year went by, and I remember I watched Miss America the year that Grace Stanke was crowned, and that was the first time I'd watched Miss America maybe since high school or maybe even younger. And I had signed up for some, I think 2 other pageants that year. And I called back and I pulled my name out of those, got my money back, and I decided to go compete for Miss Colorado for the first time. I got to go compete and then ended up winning Miss Colorado that year and then going on to Miss America. So it was a fun, interesting path that I took.
Yeah, that's so amazing. So once that dream started to take shape, you won Miss Colorado. What did the Miss America title mean to you back then, and how has that meaning deepened or shifted that you were Miss America?
I believe that both of the titles were a lot more. It was never about me getting to win, but it was a representation of the people of why I wanted to compete. Someone like my mom getting to talk about pancreatic cancer awareness. And then, of course, on the military side, I just got this amazing email this morning from a father of an 11-year-old girl that said she is dying to go to the Air Force Academy, and getting to see other women in the military just proves to them that they can do it too. So getting to connect with so many different patients from around the U.S. and then also getting to show other young women and other young men that they can serve and making it accessible, something that is exciting and making people want to give back to the U.S., whether that is in their uniform or not.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said just shows that you use your platform to create such impact. For young women who are still trying to figure out what they want to stand for, where do you think that discovery begins?
Just being honest with yourself. I mean, I think a lot of times people try to pick things out in their life that look impressive, and they just say, well, that's my passion, because they want to have something unique to put on a resume, something that's cool to stand out on social media, to do something that is going to be catchy to the eye. But really trying to figure out your place in the world is not about how much applause you get. It's not about having a cool title. It's not about how much you have or how much is on your resume. It's finding something that you actually love. I had gone down this path of wanting to be an astronaut for nearly a decade, and then sat down and was really honest with myself about, this isn't what I see myself doing for the rest of my life. This is not where my passions are intersecting with my strengths anymore. And I had realized that passions lie in pancreatic cancer work, and my strengths were in STEM and public speaking. And that's what got me into this policy world of healthcare. So just really being honest with yourself about what are your passions, where do you see yourself going, what are your true strengths, and how can you combine all of those to make the most difference in the world.
I love that. So adding on to that, can you talk about your foundation a little bit?
Absolutely. We started the Whitney Marsh Foundation back in 2018, roughly 2 weeks after my mom passed away. She was a huge, huge runner, and we wanted back then and still today to remember my mom for who she was. And my mom was, like I said, a huge runner. She was a mother, a daughter, a cook, a volunteer, all of these wonderful things, but most of all, just loved getting to spend time with people. And so the entire thought process of the foundation was bringing our community together year after year to do something that my mom loved, to raise awareness, to really keep her spirit alive, even if she wasn't there with us. So we're coming up on our 7th year, which is crazy. Every single year we hold a 5K, 10K race, but we've added on tons of different events over the past several years. We have a baseball fundraiser. We have our 2nd ever symposium coming up. We did lots of different percentage nights with various organizations from around Arkansas, and now we're getting to expand to kind of get into more policy work and integrations with different hospitals and our government structure within Arkansas. So we're very excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, that work is so meaningful. So you've clearly embraced this platform with confidence, strength, and grace, but we all have to grow into that. What's a part of yourself you had to develop or strengthen in order to truly own yourself and being Miss America?
I believe that some of the biggest lessons that I had to learn was knowing when to say no to people, and also knowing when to stand true to what I believe in and not what other people want me to believe in, if that makes sense. Yeah. And understanding that with any role I've been in, I've worn a lot of different hats, I've done different things in my life, and that means I've gotten a lot of varying opinions from all these different groups. Everyone's always going to have their input of what they want your life to look like, but learning how to say no when it's starting to divert from what is going to be the best for you. I think at the end of the day, you are probably the only person that knows what is best for you. So keeping that in mind with every single decision that you make, whether that be small ones day to day on how you choose to spend your time, but also long term when it looks like career goals and goal setting and where you want to be with your life, and really just being honest, learning how to say no to people and sticking true to what you want in life.
Mm-hmm. And in your answer, you talked about that you wore a lot of different hats. And I think representation truly matters so much. And you brought something so unique to this role. How has your background, especially as a U.S. Air Force officer, influenced the way you see service, leadership, and womanhood?
That's a great question. I mean, I think for me, the biggest part of it is, how do we get more people to just serve others? And that's not going to be just in a U.S. military uniform, right? Because it's not going to be the right place for everybody. But I do believe that in service as a whole, there is a place for everyone. I truly believe that the way you find the most meaning in life is by living a life that is in pursuit of serving other people. And I think that is where I have found my meaning in my life. And it's never just one pinpoint example of, I feel meaning in my life because I serve in the pancreatic cancer community, but it's really just overlooking in service in general. And that's where I derive a lot of my happiness, being able to not only serve the country, but serve my family, serving patients, serving my friends, and just being a person that really wants to give back to others. And I think if we all start to dig deep and find small ways to give back to the people around us, that's when your life really opens up to being something that is about joy and living, not just achieving and accomplishing.
Yeah, that's so special. And you talk about serving people a lot. Looking back at your journey so far, is there a moment, big or small, that made you stop and think, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be or meant to be?
I think coming back once Miss America was over, getting to be back at Harvard, getting married this year, doing a lot of keynotes for pancreatic cancer, and really just getting to be a part of that community. Every time I'm getting to call up people that are in our governor's office or working with our hospital CEOs in Arkansas and really all across the country, those are the moments that I feel most connected to my mission, and I feel most excited to get to give back to people, but also getting to share not only my mom's story, but so many of the other patients that we've gotten to meet. And so now I feel like I have a lot of peace knowing that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I get to go to my dream school, married my dream person, and I'm just overall getting to enjoy all of the small things in life. So I wouldn't say necessarily, like, there's a lot of, like, of course, career things that make me feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. But more than anything, getting to have that time with my friends and family now, and that space to do what I love, that's what makes me feel like where I'm supposed to be.
That's so amazing. And just one more question about Miss America. I'm personally preparing to compete at Miss America's team, like I said before, and I know so many girls across the country are doing the same. So what advice would you give to me or the other contestants stepping into this experience for the very first time?
I would say don't focus on winning the crown, focus on winning the experience. If anyone has heard me speak at a pageant or something, pageant adjacent, I always say that because there are a lot of times where you might walk away maybe with the crown or with the scholarship or the dream job or whatever, and you can still walk away losing because you didn't learn anything and you didn't go in with any other goals other than something that's not really in your control. Like, of course, you can control how hard you work, right? But the problem is you can be the hardest worker in the room and then still walk away not winning. And so if your only goal is to win, you're probably going to come out not winning in the sense that is the most meaningful. So setting goals for yourself that are actionable, they're achievable, they are completely in your control. I think mine, I'd probably have to go back to my old journals, but I think when I competed for Miss America, my goals were to make friends, to share my mom's story, and I don't remember what my third one was. But there was something that was completely in my domain that I knew that if I achieved those, even if I didn't place, didn't win an award, didn't whatever, I was still going to walk away a winner because I achieved the goals that I had set out for myself. And I was there to enjoy the experience of just getting to be there, meeting so many incredible people, getting to compete at Miss America, that it didn't matter to me at that moment whether or not I won. I mean, I remember waking up on finals morning, telling my family, it's not me, but I don't care. Like, I had a great week and I'm just ready to hang out with you guys now. So going in with the mindset of winning is not everything, life will go on, and don't focus on that being the only aspect or putting your worth in how well you place, because there are so many other ways to achieve success in life that is not just through these titles or something that is flashy to put on a resume or social media. There are so many other amazing things to win in life that have nothing to do with the winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so important. Actually, the current Miss Round's team, when I was competing, they kept saying when they experienced from you when you said it to them. So that's so special hearing you say that now. So what you've accomplished as Miss America is so extraordinary. But what inspires me most is how Miss America isn't just one chapter of your story. Before you're saying you're a scholar, a servicewoman, a newlywed, a woman constantly expanding who she is. So I'd love to shift into that part of your life. So let's start with Harvard. I know you mentioned it before. You're pursuing graduate studies there. So what pulled you into that direction?
Well, when I was doing physics in undergrad, most of my research experience was in gamma ray burst and telescope operations. And I thought I wanted to, I don't know, study gamma ray burst or black holes for the rest of my life. And then I was a senior in college and kind of started to look into what that type of life would look like. I interned at NASA in person, and so I really got the full experience of what it would be if I did that as my profession. And I just started to see that's not really what I wanted to do with my life anymore. And when I started to look at where and what and how could I use this STEM career into something that aligns with my passions of pancreatic cancer. So our senior year at the academy, you still have to do this big capstone, like a big research project. And you have to do it within your major. So most of the time, like within physics, you have to choose, something with lasers. I could have done something with gamma ray or whatever it might be. But I had asked my advisors if I could use my skills that I got from physics and then actually turn it towards something that I had cared about. So I found a research project with the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and Harvard Medical to do artificial intelligence research on pancreatic cancer scans. So this was like my small little diversion into using this old path that I had made for myself and worked really hard at to turn it into something that was useful for this new path that I was creating. And then from there, I really started to look at what are the skills that I have and what do I love to do? And I love talking to people. I love getting to hear my mom's story. I love the critical thinking aspect of creating policy and getting to be the go-in-between of someone that understands the medical sciences to someone that might not have any sort of background in pancreatic cancer. And also because I had the firsthand experience of my mom passing away, of what does it look like for a patient to be diagnosed, and how do I combine all these different areas into something that's actionable? And the answer for all of this was getting into public policy. So I applied to a couple different public policy programs and then landed at Harvard Kennedy. So it's a pretty good experience, and I'm happy with how my path led me here.
Yeah, I love that. And that's such an interesting story. So I bet balancing all of this is a lot. How have you learned to protect your energy, your peace, and your identity amidst it all?
So there's a couple of things that I do when it comes to time management. I'm a big planner girl. I have a planner that is handwritten. I can get down to 5 minutes of every day, and making sure that I'm always putting in there time for me to call my family, time for me to read my books. I read a book before bed every night and I turn my phone off. I make sure I'm going to the gym every day. So those are just small ways that I'm really protecting my time. Another thing for all of the people out there that might be on their phones a lot or social media, I use this app called Opal. I use the free version of it, and I basically just block all of my social media apps, and it makes it super annoying if you want to access them throughout the day. Like, you have to go on it and you have to wait 30 seconds or maybe 2 minutes to like open something. So it really disincentivizes you from like reaching your phone to, I guess, waste would be what in my mind is, I felt like I was wasting a lot of time on that and a lot of energy, and I just didn't really feel like emotionally that was something that I wanted to be looking at every day. I would rather spend that time calling my husband or reading a book or going outside. So I use those sorts of tools to make sure that I'm protecting myself. And then also when I'm with my family, or when I would be with my husband, especially last year, I had my government phone and my personal phone, and I would shut off my personal phone, like completely turn it all the way off for 2 to 3 days at a time. So if someone needed to reach me, i.e. my bosses for the Air Force, they would call my government phone. So just small ways. Obviously not everyone's going to be able to like shut their phone off for a few days, but when I'm out with my family, maybe the phone stays in the car, or whenever it's time for me to have my time at night, my phone is on do not disturb, and the only person that I'm answering it for is my husband. So
yeah, that's such an important lesson. I know you talked about your husband. You just got married. The pictures were breathtaking. So as you look into the future, what are you most excited for, whether it's personal, professional, or something that you haven't done yet?
I think I'm most excited for us to get to move in with each other next year. Obviously, we've had to do long distance for, we'll be coming up on 3 years next May, because of he's in pilot training right now. I'm at Harvard and all the Miss America stuff last year. And so getting to actually live together will be really nice. That just feels like I'm going to actually get to be an adult, and married, not having to be long distance would be really nice. So I think that is one of the biggest things. He will get his plane soon, and that will be really exciting. So that will kind of dictate where we get to go next. Getting hopefully moved around a little bit together, because I want to go be able to see the world. And then, of course, finally graduating next May. Obviously, I put my graduation date off for a year because I couldn't be, you can't be a virtual student at my program. You have to be full-time in person. So I had to push back my graduation date. So finally getting my diploma and going into my real Air Force job is going to be fantastic. And I can't wait.
Yeah, that seems also exciting. So for your final question, for every girl watching this, especially those with big dreams in multiple directions like yours, what's your message to her about life and her goals?
It's a heavy question. I think the biggest thing is, at the end of the day, the only person that's guaranteed to believe in you is you. And there were a lot of times throughout this long journey that I've been on, that inevitably you're going to have someone doubt you or tell you that you can't achieve something, or maybe you should narrow your path to make it make more sense. And for me, at the end of the day, I go into every day with gratitude to just be alive and to shoot for things that I never would expect myself to even be able to achieve. And everyone should give themselves that grace to do that and to be excited to try something and fail. I can't remember the quote exactly right now, but it's all about a woman who gets up again can never fail, no matter how many times she does not succeed. And I think that's really beautiful, just embracing the failure part of life, because I have learned so much more from failing at something than I ever had succeeding in something. So being excited to try something, do poorly at it, fail at it, and learn how to be better and be authentic, be unrelenting in pursuit of your passions and dreams and goals, and know that at the end of the day, the only person that can limit you is you. So dream big for yourself and stop allowing all of the noise in the outside world to tell you what you should be doing with your life, and look at what life or your habits leading you to live right now, and how can you change them to be better, to live the way you want to live and be who you want to be.
Oh, I absolutely love that answer, and I absolutely loved talking to and interviewing. So thank you so much for being on Ride the Wave.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm wishing you the best of luck in just a couple of weeks from now.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching Ride the Wave. Now let's catch